Coming up next on Channel 7 News at noon, the standoff continues in Panama, but there are signs it may end soon. We'll have the latest on Manuel Noriega's struggle to stay free.
There were some tense moments today on a 747 that took off from Miami. We'll let you know what happened.
The cold weather may be over, but we've just begun to pay the price. We'll tell you how the cold spell could affect the prices you pay in the grocery store.
And it's almost Orange Bowl time. Today we'll take a sneak peek at some of the floats you'll see on Parade Day.
These stories plus lots more
Coming up next on Channel 7 News at noon.
Here's a tasty way to go from year to Happy New Year with a little help from the Honey Baked store. Begin your celebration with a variety of our delicious hot and cold hors d'oeuvres. Then ring in the new year with a classic taste. Make it Honey Baked for the best of times.
You've seen it before, but you've never seen it like this. Now, America's best-known judge, Judge Wapner, and the People's Court are traveling to courthouses throughout the country, bringing you new faces, new places, and fun new cases. The People's Court, on the road across America.
The People's Court, weekdays at 4:30 on WSVN 7.
Live from Channel 7, South Florida's news station. Joan Lovett, Jane Akron, and weather with Tom Burse. This is Channel 7 News at noon.
Is the stalemate over what to do with Manuel Noriega finally coming to an end? Good afternoon. Joan and Jane are working the night shift. I'm Baron Black.
And I'm Charles Mullen. Our top story. The Bush administration is turning up the pressure on the Vatican embassy this afternoon to turn over General Noriega to the U.S. U.S. troops are still standing guard outside the embassy, but Vatican officials in Rome say international law and diplomatic procedure will not allow Noriega to be extradited to Miami. Before beginning a Texas vacation today, President Bush told reporters he's still trying to get Noriega out of the embassy.
Just at ongoing talks, and I think the nuncio is awaiting instructions from the Vatican. We've made clear our preference, and that is to bring the man to trial and subsequently to justice because of this indictment that's against him.
Mr. Bush called Noriega's turning himself in about as good a Christmas present as he could want. American troops in Panama are now holding another big fish. Noriega's chief of staff has been captured. Meanwhile, U.S. forces are finding more control centers for Noriega's drug trafficking operations. They're also dealing with a blizzard of rumors over when the fallen dictator may be coming out of the Vatican embassy. Channel 7's Mark Ludner is in Panama City. He told me just a little while ago there's been a lot of anxious watching and waiting going on there.
There was a lot of activity overnight at the Vatican Embassy. U.S. helicopters overhead. Some lights were shot out by U.S. troops. It appears there had been some thought that Noriega might have been leaving the embassy, and that accounted for the activity. We were briefed by an Army officer this morning, and he would not comment at any length on all of the activity overnight at the embassy, except to say that there was a perception that Mr. Noriega might be departing.
Now, on the streets, is there any indication as to whether the Andorra government has things under control, or is it still pretty much the U.S. Army?
Well, they're certainly working together, and it's still difficult to tell where the Army stops and the Andorra government begins. But we are seeing definitely at least the beginnings of a return to normalcy. There's a lot of cleanup activity in the streets, especially storefronts which were heavily damaged by looters in recent days. The garbage trucks are rolling again, even though there's still a shortage of gasoline. Bus service has been restored to Panama City. We've been caught in incredibly huge traffic jams as people try to return to work and to get back out into the streets.
Do people seem to feel safe now?
Certainly in the center of Panama City during daylight hours, people seem to be safe. Everybody walks around freely. There are reports still of sporadic sniper fire, mostly at night, and a curfew remains in effect.
Mark says the rumors that Noriega was about to come out of the embassy persisted until only about an hour ago, when President Bush seemed to indicate that nothing is immediately happening.
Panamanian President Andorra and his two vice presidents reportedly made a secret pact to say they were sworn in on Panamanian territory. even though the ceremony actually took place on a U.S. military base. Reports say the three were worried about questions of legitimacy since the swearing-in took place at Fort Clayton outside Panama City. Endara said he was sworn in at a Panamanian home. The Lauderdale Lake soldier who lost his life during last week's invasion of Panama will be buried tomorrow at Arlington National Cemetery. Alejandro Manrique was killed on the first day U.S. troops stormed into Panama. The 30-year-old soldier who grew up in Peru was one of 24 Americans killed in the invasion. His wife Sherry says Alejandro is a hero because he willingly went in to fight for the United States. She and other family members will leave for the funeral today, accompanied by a military escort.
There are reports from Romania this afternoon of more clashes in the streets of Budapest between forces loyal to executed President Ceausescu and those who helped overthrow his government. Meanwhile, grieving Romanians are gathering at a mass grave in the hopes of finding missing loved ones killed by Ceausescu's forces. Romania's new leader is assuring his followers that their dreams of democracy will be fulfilled. Some Romanians are letting it be known that they aren't too happy with the makeup of the new government. They want to be rid of all communists in the new leadership. The high-speed changes happening in Europe are making things tough for history professors at Florida universities. The government shakeups have made most of the history textbooks outdated. One history professor says he's considering having his students read the newspaper instead of the textbooks. Some airline passengers are recouping after a scary ride on a Pan Am 747 which took off from Miami. The plane, with 223 people in it, was forced to return to Miami International after an indicator signaled a possible engine fire. The pilot shut down that engine. The plane landed safely, and it turns out there was no fire. But passengers had been told there was, and they were scared.
You're up there and you're looking down and you're thinking whether you're going to make it or not. You know, how you read about all these accidents, so it's a pretty traumatic situation.
Pan Am says the plane is designed to fly safely on 3 of its 4 engines. It was bound for Los Angeles. The passengers were put on other flights. 6 people are dead this afternoon in the wake of a commuter plane crash in Washington state. The United Express twin-engine plane crashed and burst into flames after trying to land at the airport. Authorities say visibility was good and winds were calm last night when the plane tried to land. The flight had come from Seattle and there'd been no reports of any problems while it was in the air. 2 people are in critical condition this afternoon after their car slammed into a wall and flipped over in Coconut Grove this morning. Police say Ibrahim Shanti was driving 80 miles an hour when he lost control of his car and slammed into the wall at Main Highway and Franklin Avenue. Shanti is charged with careless driving. He and a passenger, Victoria Wasserman, are both in critical condition.
A Metro-Dade police officer is in satisfactory condition this afternoon after shooting himself in the leg. 32-year-old Valentin Gomez was rushed to Jackson Memorial Hospital last night. He shot himself in the leg at the K-9 unit headquarters at Opelika Airport. Officials say it happened as Gomez was putting his gun back into his holster. Police are ruling the shooting accidental, but they're still investigating. Investigators are getting closer to finding the people responsible for at least 3 letter bombs that killed a lawyer and a federal judge and injured another judge. A longtime white supremacist, J.B. Stoner, is reportedly a suspect in the bombing death of a federal judge in Birmingham, Alabama. Stoner served time in prison for the attempted bombing of a black church in Georgia in 1958. And the U.S. Postal Service says it has pinpointed the post office where the 2 bombs which injured a Maryland judge were mailed last week. Postal Inspector Bob Morgan says the explosives in the bombs were totally different from the bombs used in Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
The weather is finally warming up today, and the power problems are cooling off. FP&L says it has restored electricity to everybody in South Florida. The rolling blackouts, which were put in place to help deal with the record demand for power, are over, and crews have repaired all damage caused by the cold. Many people who were left in the cold are burning mad over those power outages, but FPL probably won't be able to prevent them in the future. The company says it would cost billions of dollars to be prepared for this rare type of demand, and consumers would have to pay for it year-round. If you thought you'd seen the last of Florida's brutal cold spell, think again. It blasted Florida farmers, and the shockwaves will reach all the way to your supermarket.
The price is going to go up because of the supply and demand and the market price.
We're all going to have to pay out more for produce. Florida's fruit and vegetable farms are devastated from the deep freeze. Some crops have been as much as 95% destroyed. The state farmers market in Pompano is desolate. Very few new shipments are coming in. Grocers say they can get plenty of veggies from somewhere else, but the prices will go up. In the fields, acres and acres of corn, tomatoes, and squash are dead. Growers will have to clear all this stuff away and plant over again. The fate of Florida orange farmers is making futures traders nervous. Mere speculation is forcing orange juice prices up. Governor Martinez is thinking of trying to get federal disaster aid for the state's ravaged citrus industry. Right now, he's waiting for some solid figures on just how bad the damage is.
It's a little early to determine what the losses are to those who own the farms, and then the work or assistance needed for those who work the farms. And that's what we're gathering now.
Orange farmers are now desperately trying to harvest the remains of their crop. It'll take thousands of workers to do the job. Incredibly, growers are hoping for more cold weather so they can get the fruit picked and turned into juice. If it gets too warm now, the oranges will rot on the trees. Some reports say we could see orange juice prices start going up within just a week or two.
And we'll be back with more news in just a minute.
And it looks like the Titan rocket just can't get off the ground.
Today in Sonny's Market, a look at fresh collards.
When you tell the world your new address, you tell the world you have the best. It's everything you've ever wanted. At Palm Beach Polo, it's more than the rest. Everything you've ever wanted. Tell the world. It satisfies every need. Everything you've ever wanted. Tell the world. You found your dream. Everything you've ever wanted.
Palm Beach Polo and our vital landmark community. With the beautiful choice we give you of single-family homes, patio homes, and townhouses priced from just $200,000, and our satisfying variety of championship amenities, why settle for any address when you can have the address? Palm Beach Polo and our vital landmark community on Forest Hill Boulevard, west of the Turnpike.
Palm Beach Polo. Tell the world. Tell the world.
To become a trained heating and air conditioning technician, you have to start somewhere. Without understanding how air conditioning works, there's just no way you'll ever work in this trade or own your own business. The door's closed. The only obstacle standing between you and your potential are the skills needed to install and repair this kind of equipment.
Amperage checks out fine.
With ATI, I can work on both commercial or residential units like these. At ATI, I had hands-on training by instructors that really knew the heating and air conditioning business, training that I needed to get started. So if you're tired of all those closed doors, call ATI now.
If you'd like to know more about a career as a heating and air conditioning technician, call ATI at 573-1600 in Miami or 764-3432 in Fort Lauderdale. Call now for your brochure. That's 573-1600 in Miami and 764-3432 in Fort Lauderdale. Call now.
Well, it's still pretty cold this morning coming to work and in the newsroom, but
It's warming up. I went outside this afternoon, and it's warming up, so it's going to be nice.
great. Steve's checking it all out for us, of course. Steve, are we getting our relief at last?
I think we're going to have some moderating of temperatures. As you can see right now outside, it's getting close to being back to normal for this time of year. 65 degrees all up and down the southeast coast. You get down to Hollywood, 67 degrees there. Miami, 68 degrees. It's 68 in Homestead, 58 over on the west coast, 69-degree reading down in Key West. Winds right now out of the northwest at 8, the barometer 30.30 and steady. Humidity is 53%. Here's what you can look for today. More sunshine around the state. Temperatures will be getting close to 70, maybe even 72 degrees by the time the afternoon gets by. Clear skies across most of the state. The north part of the state will once again be cooler today. And tonight, once again, temperatures dropping down into the 30s in North Florida. Some cloud cover there, partly cloudy skies, 40s, 50s down into South Florida. Here's the big weather maker in the eastern half of the country for today. That is producing some snow and freezing rain down into the Tennessee-Kentucky borderline with the snows back across the Ohio Valley into the upper Great Lakes area, the upper Midwest. You can see the areas where the heavier showers are into the Carolinas and into portions of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Some of this stuff, though, is freezing rain at this time. Looks like it's going to be a mess for the next little while until that front moves on out. You can see it's trying to move on to the coast into the middle Atlantic coastal states where it'll be in the form of showers, some of that freezing rain. Then the snow to the north of that up into New England and across the northeastern states as it sweeps through by this time tomorrow. Meanwhile, the rest of the country under high pressure will see a lot of sunshine, clear skies, blue skies, things looking pretty good till you get way back into the upper plain states, back into the northern Rockies and the northwest, where another system coming in there is producing some snows, will be producing some very heavy snows across the mountains out west. And tonight, how cold is it going to get for us? Well, 40s and 50s for the most part once again in Florida. It'll be in the 30s across most of Georgia, Alabama, the southern tier of states. And then the 20s will cover a big swath of the country all the way out west with some teens in the Rockies out there and some single digits and even zeros and below into the northeastern states and New England. The forecast looks pretty good for us. Looks like we're going to have some nice weather for today, tonight, and tomorrow. Our cooler temperatures will be moderating some, and we'll have a slow warming trend right on out till the end of the week and on into the weekend. Let's take a look at that forecast now. For tonight, clear and cool. Low temperatures 48 to 52 degrees. And tomorrow, lots of sunshine, mild temperatures, high about 72 degrees. Isn't that going to be nice? And then for the boaters on Dade and Broward coastal waterways, winds will be variable, mostly out of the northwest, switching around to the northwest later in the afternoon, 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 3 feet. The bay waters will be smooth. And the almanac calls for our low tide at 1:42 this afternoon, the high tide at 7:30 this evening, sunrise at 7:06, and the sunset at 5:39. So we're back to a more normal weathering pattern. Most of the cold air is staying well to the north of us. Charles, very
glad to see the temperatures back where they belong. Thank you, Steve. Time again to catch up with Sonny and check out what's happening in Sonny's market today. Sonny confesses this one isn't one of his favorites.
There are different kinds of greens, but today I'd like to talk to you about the collard greens. They are the most mild of all the greens, and they're full-bodied. Collard greens have got an awful lot of vitamin A and C, calcium, and a lot of potassium, and so low in calories. When you're in the store looking for fresh collard greens, look for the deep dark green leaf. If it's got any kind of yellowing that has some age on it, I would advise you taking that collard green home. And if you find a leaf that's got a couple of holes in it, well, folks, believe it or not, even the insects enjoy collard greens, but it won't affect the eating quality. Now, the way you should cook fresh collards is to put 1.5 inches to 2 inches of water in a pot. Bring it to a boil. Put your collards in the pot. Bring it to a boil again. And the only reason I say 1.5 inches to 2 of water is because you don't want all those nutrients to evaporate. When you bring those collards out, add some butter or some margarine with some lemon pepper. I do have to admit, folks, this isn't one of my favorite foods, but I've got an awful lot of great recipes that you might enjoy. Fresh collards have got so many nutrients, and they're inexpensive. And anyway, we are here for a good time, and not a long time. And the next time you want some value for your dollars, try some collards, because you might enjoy them. From Sonny's Market, you have a very sunny day.
Remember, if you've got any questions or comments for Sonny, you can write to him here at Channel 7. The address is Post Office Box 1118, Miami, Florida, 33138.
Still to come, he wanted to take his wife out of her misery. Now a Chicago cop faces murder charges.
President Bush is under some big pressure today over how he spends his vacation.
And they're doing the elephant walk in Miami.
Attention, accident victims. After accidents like yours, everyone is sorry, but no one wants to pay. It takes tough, smart lawyers to make everyone at fault pay up. Call Victims Legal Clinic now, 661-6000. The Victims Legal Clinic lawyers have the brains to go after every penny you have coming and have the guts to fight the greediest insurance companies. We're tough, smart lawyers who get results. Victims Legal Clinic, 661-6000, 661-6000.
Maria D. Aguiar, before 270 pounds. Maria after losing 125 pounds. What's her secret? Doctor's quick weight loss.
My doctors say lose weight. I lost 125 pounds, quick and easy. My blood pressure improved while eating regular good-tasting supermarket food.
Save. Get 1/2 off at Doctor's Quick Weight Loss Centers. Call now. Toll free 1-800-940-SLIM for the Doctor's Quick Weight Loss Center near you.
The Shawnee Miami Beach Resort presents two spectacular entertainment events. Our beautiful new dinner theater features Gala Nights. See a fast-paced Las Vegas-style musical review while enjoying the best mouth-watering food anywhere. Cabaret Illusions features Paris by night, a spicy, fun-packed musical a la Francais, a Norma LaChance, Gene Chandler production. For special group rates, information, and reservations, call 532-3311.
Hi, you got 30 seconds? Let me tell you about a place where people are getting younger. It's called Century Village at Pembroke Pines. I know most of you think it's a retirement place. Let me ask you a question. Did you work out today? Play golf or tennis? Attend a class? End up the day either going to a show or dancing? The folks at Century Village did, and they do every day of the week. If you want to meet every day feeling and looking better, check us out. That's Century Village at Pembroke Pines west of Flamingo Road. See you there?
A former Broward man accused of kidnapping his own baby daughter has been cleared of all wrongdoing. A jury found Alan Ray Houghton not guilty yesterday of violating a court order that granted custody to the girl's mother. Houghton had been in the Broward County Jail since May. It was last year that he disappeared with his daughter, Christine. She was 11 months old at the time. Houghton claimed he abducted the girl because she was being neglected.
A retired Chicago policeman says he wanted to take his wife out of her misery, so he killed her. Gerald Williams, who says he loved his wife so much, shot her on Christmas Eve to end her suffering. Doctors say Mrs. Williams had multiple sclerosis, a crippling disease of the nervous system. Williams says he killed his wife because he was afraid he wouldn't be able to properly care for her after his heart surgery. Today, Williams is charged with murder. It's a change that could reopen old wounds. A New York State appeals court has overturned convictions and dismissed grand jury indictments of 3 white men in the Howard Beach racial attack. The men were the second of 2 groups charged with attacking 3 black men outside a pizzeria in 1986. And one of the victims was killed when he was chased onto a highway and hit by a car. The appeals court says back in the original trial, the judge made mistakes while explaining legal procedures to the jury.
Engineers at Cape Canaveral must be getting very frustrated. The launch of the Titan III rocket has now been delayed for a 6th time. The rocket was scheduled to blast off last night, but high winds forced it to stay on the ground. The Titan III is supposed to carry 2 satellites into orbit, and its launch will be considered a big shot in the arm for America's efforts to get back on the commercial spaceflight bandwagon. Engineers will try again to send it up tomorrow night.
The city of Pittsburgh and a Jewish group are at odds with each other this afternoon. The fight is over a 40-foot menorah. Officials say they'll petition the Supreme Court today in an effort to get the Hanukkah symbol removed from outside a city building. The Jewish group was allowed to put up the menorah this week under a restraining order by Supreme Court Justice William Brennan. But the city claims it should decide what's allowed in front of the building.
A group of animal rights activists wants President Bush to take his kinder, gentler nation policy to heart as he begins a vacation in Texas today. Mr. Bush is beginning his 1-week trip, which includes quail hunting next week. That's Quail the bird, not Quail the vice president. Well, the Fund for Animal Group says it wants the president to be kinder and gentler to birds and cancel his hunting plans.
Up next, an unusual traffic problem.
We'll tell you why the elephant crossed the street in Miami when Channel 7 News comes right back.
Jack Butler has just lost one job, but is about to take on another.
All right, just relax. It's going to be great. There's nothing to this, you know.
Honey, you got it covered, right, guys? Whoever thought that staying home with the kids could be hazardous to your health?
Now, do you want to go over that list one more time?
When the chips are down, it takes a real man to rise to the occasion. Michael Keaton and Terry Garr hit home with a gender-bender comedy of the 80s. Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, tonight on the WSVN 7 movie at 8.
Until December 30th, every 1989 Cadillac from Bayview comes with something special. A vacation for 2 on us. Enjoy luxurious 4-day, 3-night vacations on Hilton Head Island or in the Great Smoky Mountains. And Bayview is offering discounts up to $9,000 with over 100 demonstrator, executive, and new 89 Cadillacs to choose from. We're America's largest volume Cadillac dealership, and we always sell for less. Hurry to Bayview Cadillac on US 1 in Fort Lauderdale.
I caught you.
Are we playing detective?
You said you were giving up super premium ice cream.
I said I was giving up the fat and calories.
And what do you call this?
Steve's Gourmet Light.
1/3 fewer calories and less than half the fat.
And 40% lower in cholesterol, Sherlock Holmes. Now taste.
It tastes just like super premium ice cream. Steve's really did it.
I knew you'd figure it out.
Steve's Gourmet Light. We did it.
Instead of watching from the back row, we can take you backstage. Career Institutes of America can help you prepare for a career in the music and video industry. You'll get hands-on training.
Because of the training I got at Career Institute, I don't just listen to music, I help make it.
Learn concert promotion, recording, management, directing, and producing videos.
Thanks to Career Institute, I'm living the career most people only dream about.
For more information, call now 1-800-544-4662. Career Institutes, where we can help you make it happen.
It is a decorator's delight this afternoon in Miami. The final touches are being put on floats for the Orange Bowl Parade this weekend. Channel 7's Dan Tasciati is standing by live where all the activity's going on. Dan?
Charles, I love this time of year. No sooner do we get Christmas over with, and we're already talking King Orange Jamboree Parade. It's Orange Bowl time. You know it's Orange Bowl time because this morning, the prayer breakfast. Team members, family members, coaches, alumni from both the University of Colorado and Notre Dame were on hand at the Omni at 7:30 this morning for the annual Orange Bowl Prayer Breakfast, which marks the official kickoff of Orange Bowl week. Back over here along the New River, not the New River, we're not in Fort Lauderdale, along the Miami River at the Vaughn Now Festival Float Company. Everyone's getting ready for the big parade on New Year's Eve. You can see some of the floats behind me here. They're putting things together. And let's see if we can find. Here's Mr. Parade himself. Dennis Light is over here. Hi, Dennis. I know you've been busy. How you doing? We get to see you once a year. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Tell us about this year's parade.
Well, you know the theme of the parade is a kaleidoscope of lights.
Parade's named after you.
Not really. Probably this year more light bulbs than ever, between twinkle lights and cherry bulbs and floodlights, like 150,000 bulbs easily.
I'm told there's going to be some lasers this year.
Yes, on about 4 or 6 different floats. We're not sure yet. We're doing some special things.
And the parade's a little earlier this year than we're used to?
Starts at 6:30 instead of 7:30.
6:30 instead of 7:30 on Sunday night, New Year's Eve. Right. Dennis, give us a good one. Right. Good to see you. Happy New Year. And that's about it from the parade side here. Once again, the parade will be New Year's Eve. And I should say it's going to be back downtown this year after the attempt in the park last year. They're bringing it back down to the Biscayne Boulevard. So, Charles, that's it from parade headquarters. Back to you.
It ought to be quite a show. Thank you, Dan. That's Channel 7's Dan Tasciati reporting live from Miami.
Here are some of the stories coming up today on Channel 7 News. We'll have the latest on the stalemate over Manuel Noriega, and Mark Lundner will report live from Panama. Is a special task force making our housing projects safer? We'll continue our special series. And what makes people sexy? Dr. Terry Hamilton has the answer in her report, For Women. These stories and more on Channel 7 News beginning at 5 o'clock.
Well, the pachyderms were parading through Miami today. They were doing the elephant walk this morning in the streets near the Miami Arena. The reason, in case you didn't already guess, the circus has come to town. The big stars under the big top arrived in town this morning by train and paraded to the arena in their traditional fashion. The Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey Circus will be at the arena from tomorrow until January 7th.
I bet the weather's going to be beautiful.
The weather is going to be beautiful.
And even a little warmer.
For elephants and parades and whatever you guys you line up with. You got all kind of stuff over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some great weather for you for whatever you're doing. As a matter of fact, it's going to be nice for the next couple of days, right on into the weekend and on into the first part of the week. First of all, the motor's forecast looks real good for today, tonight, and tomorrow. Winds northwest 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, and the bay waters will be smooth. So all that's looking real good. And checking out the week ahead, Thursday through Friday, some partly cloudy skies, high about 72 degrees. Lows will be in the mid-50s. And then Saturday and Sunday, a slight increase in the low temperature, about 58 degrees with some increased cloudiness, but still partly cloudy, lots of sunshine. By Monday, we'll be back up to 78 degrees. Get the bikinis out again. Here we go. And the low temperature about 62 degrees. But watch out. There's another front that's going to bring some cloud cover and some cooler temperatures. Winter's not over with yet, folks, but we're going to have some mild weather in the meantime.
Nice reprieve. Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
That about wraps it up for Channel 7 News at noon. Join us again for Channel 7 News beginning at 5 o'clock. I'm Baron Black.
And I'm Charles Molyneux for Baron Bob. And all of us here at Channel 7 News, have a good day. We'll see you again tomorrow.